Hey Tommy, if this were a Porsche, what color would it be?
Ooh, maybe like a python green.
That's right, but it's not. This is the brand new BMW M3 competition, and this is signal green. Well, it's like you're in the jungle, but we're not. Where are we?
Well, it's a beautiful green. We are here at the Nürburgring for the 24 hours of the Nürburgring. BMW is celebrating 50 years of M, and they invited us out here to drive some of their latest and greatest products, including the new BMW M3 Comp.
Actually, we're at their performance center. This is where their engineers come and test drive and develop their cars here at the ring. And this is, well, one of their latest and greatest. It is, of course, the car that when I was a kid, I always dreamed about owning, an M3, and this is the competition version. So it's got the big, powerful engine under the hood.
Yep.
Why don't we show them?
So we're looking at an inline 6-cylinder engine with a couple of turbos strapped to it. Now the competition gets a power bump over the standard M3. So we're looking at 503 horsepower and right around 480 foot-pounds of torque. So lots and lots and lots of power. And then of course the competition can be had in both rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. This one is the rear-wheel drive model.
Yeah, you're looking at a 0 to 60 time in about the mid 3-second range. And if you hear that noise, that's the race going on. So don't mind that, because let's get the noise of this vehicle. How about if I start it up and you get them a little bit of engine rev?
Yeah, sure, that sounds great to me. What a cool color. I'm really digging this color.
All right, here we go.
Quad exhaust out back. Looks pretty cool. All right. Got a little backfire, a little bit of burbles. Now, the competition, several $1,000s over the standard M3. You get the power bump. You also get some handling goodies. And this car is really growing on me from a looks and design standpoint. So, especially the rear. You got that wide body with those wide hips and the aggressive diffuser out back in full carbon. And then we come to these wheels, which are just fantastic. They're wrapped in Pilot Sport 4S tires. And then the gold brake calipers peeking out from behind that. And then we come along the front, and you do have the dual kidney grills, which I think actually looks pretty good on the M3 because it's so wide, so low, and just so planted looking. It gives it a nice squared off look. And then of course we got carbon poking out throughout. And the number plate kind of cuts the grill in half too and gives you a unique look there. Now, one aspect which I think my dad is probably going to mention about this model are these sport seats. Aren't you going to talk about the seats?
You know, they grow on you. When I first saw these a couple months ago when we first drove this car, this little insert here I thought was a little awkwardly placed, and you can figure out why. And the seats are very sporty. I mean, you know, this is a car with Ring written all over it, especially seat-wise. But the more I sit in them, you know, the more comfortable I get. I think Porsche does probably the best sport seats in the business, but these are actually not bad, and they look just really badass. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, they look fantastic. I love how bold BMW's gotten with their color palette. So this orange on the signal green is truly awesome. And then when we come into the inside, once again, the carbon continues just about everywhere across the dashboard, here in the center console. Even on the cup holder lid is adorned in carbon fiber. Sitting in these seats is like stepping into a cockpit of like an F-16.
Yeah, who would have thunk you could mix signal green with orange?
Look,
huh?
I just realized I messed up.
Why?
M3 Competition X-Drive.
Oh, so
This one is an X-Drive.
Yeah, so we are in the 4-wheel drive. Well, with this much power, Tommy, it's probably
a good thing, yeah. And of course, this is the first M car ever available with X-Drive. Do you see the little button for the exhaust?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Did you have it pushed when
I
you
did
started
not.
it up? Are you sure? It's on right now.
No, maybe I did have it pushed.
I think you did have it pushed.
That's good, because that gives you the louder, more sporty exhaust, obviously. So I love the steering wheel, Tommy. I always, judge a car by its steering wheel, just because that's where you hold on to the car, right? So you want something that's, in my mind at least, nice and meaty and thick. And this is, well, it sounds just about right for an M3.
Now we've got the M buttons on the steering wheel, those shortcuts as well. Of course, huge amounts of configurability and setup that you can do in this vehicle, ranging from all the different modes. Look, you can even go into 2-wheel drive too. And then of course there's like the drift assistant in the M3. Of course, everything's in German, so I'm not sure I'm going to get too far with the...
Yeah, this is a German spec car, so everything would be in German. But you know what isn't in German? The accelerator pedal. Shall I give it a little bit of the beans?
Sure, give it some beans. There go the turbos, whoa!
It's funny, we just did a video with the iX
M60.
X60, and that accelerates harder.
Well, yeah, that M60, you've got the immediate torque and over 800 pound-feet in the overboost function,
I know.
but 500 horsepower plus in a relatively small and lightweight sedan is pretty amazing. And that's the nice thing about the M3. Yes, it has grown over the years, but compared to some of the stuff we've been driving recently, it is a very small and kind of nimble sedan. Now let's go into, we'll go into sport. Let's go sport. There we go. When we get out onto the main road, we'll give it another burst. Yeah, the seats aren't too bad. You know, certainly the little bump near the family jewels is a little disconcerting, but that's why you wear your seatbelt.
I've got a 911 behind me. It seems appropriate.
Yeah, not just any 911. Let me know in the comments if you know what 911 that is. That's a pretty special one.
Yeah, because right here is their engineering center, right? So all the manufacturers and the race teams as well have their cars here.
Yeah, did you see that? That was a Dacia Sandero that just went by.
There's a Golf R.
I think that's a Polo
That's
R.
a Polo R.
What the heck
Yeah,
was that?
We don't get a Polo
Got
R.
a lot of interesting cars
Yeah.
here that you don't see in the U.S., which is kind of cool. I gave someone a thumbs up in a Mercedes A-Class, the original one.
Yeah.
And they looked at me like I was crazy, and then I realized I was crazy because an A-Class is
All right,
like one
here
of
we
the
go.
best-selling cars here.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, there we go.
there you go.
That's probably too fast.
That's pretty serious acceleration. Once you get those turbos on boil, it shoots off like an absolute rocket.
I know, and it's so tossable. I mean, this thing is alive in my arms, in my hands. It is hardwired to my brain. I just think of the direction I want to go, and it does it. I mean, this is a perfect car for these tight German roads. Unfortunately, Tommy, this is where we're going to have to turn around. We're here at the race, and we're just kind of doing these quick videos to take advantage of the fact that we have access to some of these cars that we, have a harder time getting in Colorado. But here in Germany, this is where they're born and bred.
Man, those are some sticky tires.
Yeah, they are sticky tires. All right. Whoa, turn around here.
You know what's unusual about the M3?
What's that?
It's one of the few cars which is still available in a manual transmission. Now, this one, the all-wheel drive one, is going to be, the all-wheel drive one is going to be automatic only, but you can still get the M3 rear-wheel drive with a good old-fashioned stick shift.
I hate to say this, Tommy, but I've kind of become resigned to the fact that all our cars are going automatic, right? You're never going to get an electric manual car, so everything is going automatic. So at some point,
You say that.
yeah,
You might get an electric manual. That might be a stay tuned moment. I think you're going to be surprised. There's some companies
working on it.
working on some pretty cool stuff to keep the enthusiast excited.
But I don't want to sit here bemoaning the fact that there's no manual. I think the
Well, there's nothing to
automatics-
bemoan. You can get it with the manual.
yeah, but I'm saying the automatics and the dual clutches are now so much quicker. And let's face it, like even if you're really a sports car enthusiast, for much of the driving that we do, an automatic is just much more.
I don't think they did a Polo R. Is that a
No,
GTI?
I don't know. Maybe somebody stuck an R on it. I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's pretty cool, whatever it is.
Whatever it is, it's pretty cool.
I
yeah.
mean, it's no signal green M3, but
No.
it's pretty cool. No, I do like this M3 a lot. Now, competition-wise, of course, you've got the competition from Mercedes, but more indirectly, too, of course, now you've got the Model 3 Performance, which is an interesting option, and then, of course, you've got the likes of Audi, too, in this segment.
And they're all here. That's the cool thing about it. So let me ask you, Tommy. We've got this old wannabe M5 that we're trying to build up. How has that changed to today? I think the old first generation cars were basically the family sedan taken and made sporty. These cars feel like they're just race car bred. I mean, they're so focused on performance. I feel like I'm about as close to a race car as you can get and still be able to put your mom in the back.
Well, this car makes that M5 feel like a wheelbarrow. It's just so much better in every way from
The first gen, yeah.
Yeah, from an engine calibration standpoint, suspension tuning, the steering is incredible, the interior is nicer, it's much safer, it's much faster, it's more fuel efficient. So all these, that attitude, like let's bemoan the old M cars. I never really understood. We're gonna go left into here as our
There's our BMW M.
BMW M facility.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly right. And if you want to check out that car, we actually just drove it. That is the BMW iX M60. So if you want to see what the all-electric BMW SUV has to offer, be sure to check out that video.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, how much does this car cost, Tommy?
So M3 starts at like 71. I think M4 comp starts, M3 comp starts in the 74, 75 range. So it goes up from there when you get the options. But what do you think of it?
I love it, dude. I'm just enthralled by it. The first time I drove this was a few months ago at the Test Fest in California in Palm Springs, and I felt these seats were just really too hard. But now that I'm here at the ring, I really feel like I understand where this car came from, the DNA of it, and why the engineers made these seats the way they are, and why this car is so tossable and nimble and sports car-like. Because, you know, this is the way you drive cars in Germany. You know, in America, we drive them a much different way. So when you put this in a suburban setting, for instance, like, you know, suburbs of Chicago where I grew up, it feels like, you know, a race-bred stallion that's, you know, out of its element. But here, this thing just is magnificent.
Let us know what you think in the comments, and check out alltfl.com for the latest, greatest in new car reviews.